There we go. Hi, everyone. As I mentioned earlier, Gary Coleshill here, and we're going to be speaking about how to get funding for college for maybe yourselves, maybe your children, maybe your grandchildren. Anyway, we're about to start, and I'd like to introduce you to Scott Rulon of Rulon Financial, who's an expert in this area. He's done a lot of college planning forms, helped a lot of students and parents, of course, get funding for college. So grab a pen, grab some paper, and be prepared to make a lot of notes. And please, 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 ask some questions, get involved. We'll be happy to chat with you and discuss your personal situation. Obviously, don't give out too many personal details, but yeah, in a general sense, you're welcome to ask any questions you like, and we'll be happy to try and answer them for you. So without much further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Scott Rulon. Scott, you have the floor. Take it away.
All right, Gary. Well, I have my bells and whistles in hand, so I think we're
That's
ready.
good.
We're ready to go. So today we're going to talk about actually changes in the FAFSA form. There have been quite a lot of changes between this year and last year. In fact, the experience when you get on the form is far different than it was even 6 months ago. And so I was just sitting down with a client not more than a week ago, and we were doing her FAFSA form, and we actually found out it had some limitations. So for those of you that are planning to send this to multiple colleges, I just want to let you know that the current limit on colleges you can send the FAFSA form to is 20. So I was actually sitting here, Gary, with a young lady who's applying to 26 different schools.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, we always used to say that you should apply to as many as you can. So I guess that changes the game a little bit there. 20 is still quite a lot,
Uh, yeah, 20's a lot, but she wanted 26. So that's what we did. So this was one of those instances where I could only fit the first 20 in. So I actually had to call the person who trained me on college planning, and she told me how you do that.
add an extra sheet
Apply,
of paper, I would think, but
yeah, apply a couple more. So I imagine in terms of application fees and stuff, this young lady must be somewhere around $2,600 to $3,000 just an application
wow.
fees. So in this case, she is quite a talented student. She got for those of you that know about the ACT exam, she actually got a 35 on it, which is the highest score you can possibly get. She also has a more than perfect grade point average she goes to a highly academic school here in Arizona. It's one called Basis. Basis is definitely known for having groups of highly talented students. She's a debater, she's a piano player. I have a feeling she's like the full package. So
Sounds
she
it.
wants to apply to some of what I would call the fancier schools. We call those profile schools, and there's a completely different application process for those. Well, let's go ahead and start with the FAFSA. So the FAFSA is the pre-application for federal student aid. So there is no aid coming your way unless you fill out a FAFSA form. No merit-based aid, no college-based aid, and no need-based aid if you don't fill out your FAFSA form. So my number one tip here is, you got it, fill out your FAFSA form. So you are going to start noticing a lot of changes on the FAFSA form this year over prior years. It has actually been split up into two pieces. You actually used to be able to do the student piece and the parent or guardian piece at the same time. Not so anymore. So what you have to do when you're filling out for the 24-25 FAFSA form, you have to fill out the student piece first. So we have to get a FAFSA ID, email. FAFSA, of course, now has that good old double authentication or SMS texting or sending a password to your email. I would suggest you sign up for at least 2 or 3 of those options because sometimes the online FAFSA form can get a little bit quirky. So we are sitting at a site called studentaid.gov. That's the place where you apply for FAFSA. And what I'm about to tell you is what FAFSA actually calculates. So what used to be called EFC, expected family contribution, is now called SAR. That is a type of student score, which is very much the same thing as expected family contribution used to be, to see how much money or aid your family will get. So when you're starting this out, what you want to do is you want to fill out the application part for the student. So you want to do that first. And once you've got all of that, and by the way, even though I filled out hundreds of these, the student part this time took me right at an hour to do, believe it or not. And we didn't even get to access the parent part. And so after you fill out the student part, you actually have to send an invite to the parent or guardian. And at that point, the parent or guardian actually has to get their own FAFSA ID. And so they send that to you in the form of an email. And you need to get your own FAFSA ID if you're a parent. So that you can fill out all the financial aid information that will be required from you. I will tell you on the student part, they ask questions like, do you have a job? How much do you earn at that job? So it'd be helpful if your student has a job to have their W-2 handy. Does the student have any assets? So asset is a fancy name for how much money does the student control? Do they have a bank account? Do they have stocks and bonds? Do they own real estate? Believe it or not, I have actually met some students that actually run a business even at age 18. So they're looking for answers to all those questions. So if the student has a job, guess what? All the colleges and universities think because they have a job, 21% of your earnings from that job has to go towards your education. And if you have assets, guess what? If it's in the student's name, they will assess that at 21% of what's in the asset account. So right off the bat, if you don't have your assets titled correctly, you're going to cost yourself money when it goes to college. So when we get to the parent part, that's a whole nother animal. And so let me give you some ideas about before you fill out your FAFSA, what you should have with you before you fill out that FAFSA form. If you don't, this thing might time out on you and you may have to start all over again. So as a parent or a guardian, here's the things that you will need to take with you when you're filling out your FAFSA form. Your most recently filed W-2, 1099, or other records of earned income for the parents or guardians. Secondly, your most recently filed federal income tax records. And that's for the students and the parents, by the way. Who knows in there what an income tax record is? If you guessed 1040, you got the answer right. So you definitely need to bring your tax return with you. Other things you'll need is your records of your untaxed income. So if you are on welfare, you are on Social Security, you're on AFDC or ADC, or you have veterans benefits for students and or parents, these are all items, even though not taxable, they are items that have to be put into the FAFSA form. The other thing you should have are your current bank statements. And that, by the way, is all your bank statements. You can't pick and choose what amounts to put on it. By the way, if you lie on your FAFSA form, that is actually a federal crime. That's a criminal offense. So I'm telling you, don't lie. They will find out. They actually do check somewhere around 1 out of 3 or 1 out of every 4 FAFSA forms to see if it's correct. I have seen many student aid officers at the colleges and universities around this nation call the parents and ask for the real documentation. So they might ask you to provide a copy of the bank statements. And guess what? You can't say no. If you say no, the process is over. So don't waste your time doing that. The other thing that are required is if you have a home, the current mortgage information, including the original purchase price of the home, its current market value, the amount owed on the home, and the monthly payment and yearly total taxes paid on the home. These are all items that go into the FAFSA calculation. Other thing you need is, do you own a farm or business? So if that business has less than 100 employees, it's not countable. However, you do have to disclose that you have a business. The other thing you need is you need a record of your stocks, bonds, and other investments, including retirement accounts. Now, I will tell you right here, here is one of those places that mistakes are often made. In the asset category, I've seen more than one set of parents put their IRA or 401k amounts in there. You don't ever want to do that. That will cost you money. In fact, I had a family 2 years ago put their entire 401k amount in, which was $400,000. You know how much college aid they got? 0, because they didn't do it right. So just because you're on the application does not necessarily mean you understand how to fill out the form. There is a set of instructions at the very beginning that you should at least print out to understand what these people are asking for. If you fill in the wrong number, guess what? That's on you. Now, you do have an opportunity to redo it. You can do an amended form, or if you don't have all of your records together, you could put together a form based on your best estimates. But if you change your FAFSA form in the future, guess who you're going to get a call from? You're going to get a call from the college aid office. They're going to wonder why you changed your form. So it's one of those things that I would say you need to get it right the first time. So even though they technically do have kind of a do-over, it's not a good idea to do that because you're trying to establish a basis of trust with these college aid officers. And the other thing we want to know is, so what parents' information do we need to put on the FAFSA? With a divorce rate somewhere around 50%, which parental information do you think we need to put on there? Now, Gary, I know you know the answer to this question because I've asked you before. Which parent's information do we have to put on here?
The one is the well, you're presuming that you have yeah, obviously a couple of kids, but the one who takes care of the kids, who's the custodian, I think, is right, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's the custodial parent. And it's the custodial parent whether you are divorced or separated, but still married. It wouldn't be the first time that I've seen a college aid officer actually ask for a copy of a rental contract. So if you're putting some amounts down that differ from your federal return, you need to explain why. And sometimes either the mother or the father lives in a separate residence, and you may have to provide a copy of that contract showing that parent lives in a separate residence. And you may say, it's no big deal if I put both parents down. That just so isn't true. It is a very big deal, and it can cost you thousands and thousands of dollars. Trust me, I've seen it. So you need to establish very good financial records. You need to keep a copy of them. And you need to be prepared for, unlike an income tax audit, this audit, if they do one, is done by the Federal Department of Education. They want to know that you are truthful. If you are not truthful on this application, I'm going to tell you one more time, it is a federal crime. So please, please, please be truthful on this application. So I'm about to tell you what I consider the most important formula for college funding. That is cost of attendance less EFC, now called SAR, which leaves you with an amount called family need. So the EFC, or today as it's called, the SAR, is the amount that your family will have to pay for college. No ifs, ands, or buts. That's just the way it is. And then you have an amount left over, which is called family need. And here's the curious thing. You will notice on this family need part that not all colleges cover family need. Some colleges cover 50%, some cover 60%, or the more sophisticated schools, which we call profile schools, that's your Harvards, Yales, Colgates, Tulanes, Emory's, I believe Northeastern, Northwestern, schools like that. There's about 200 of them. If your student is fortunate enough to get in, based on merit or need or extreme academic ability, most of those schools will cover 90 to 100% of that family need. So it is very possible, if you have a talented student who can navigate their way into a University of Chicago or Harvard or Yale or Princeton or Dartmouth, that a large portion of that family need is covered. So the key on those schools is actually getting in. If you can get in 9 times out of 10, those schools will cover the amount of family need. So that's an important aspect of that. So what do you do if you still don't have enough money? Well, there's a lot of parents or guardians, whatever you want to call them, that have to apply for a loan. Yes, you got that right. That's a loan. And guess what? 99 times out of 100, these loans are not forgivable. You can't get them forgiven in the case of a bankruptcy. So the most common loan that most students apply for is called a Stafford loan. There is two types of Stafford loans. There is a subsidized loan and there is an unsubsidized loan. So an unsubsidized loan means for the freshman year, you can get $5,500, $6,500 for the sophomore year, and $7,500 for both the junior and senior years. Now, unsubsidized means the loan starts accruing interest from the point in time the loan is taken. Now, you don't have to make a payment on that loan until at least 6 months after you have graduated from college. So that's the good news. The subsidized loan, which you don't always get a lot of unless you have an extreme amount of family need, that no interest accrues on until 6 months after you leave college. The beautiful things about these loans, parents, is you don't have to co-sign for them. So they are completely on the shoulders of your children or your students that are in college. So that's important to know. Now you notice that 5,500, 6,500, and 7,500, that's not enough money to cover college. I'll tell you that right now. With most colleges, with the exception of junior colleges and perhaps community colleges, which cost significantly less, most colleges, including tuition and room and board, are running well over $30,000 a year. So if your student can get out within 4 years, you're on the hook for probably about $120,000. That is a lot of money. Now, I'm not saying everybody is right for college. There's some people that can get education in a different way. If you have a parent in the military, you can use part of the GI Bill as long as your parent's in the military. But the cost of college is very expensive. So when you get there, take it seriously. If you can get out of college in 4 years rather than being on the 5 or 6 year plan, you will save a significant amount of money. In fact, I had a sister, Gary, that was on the 12-year plan. I don't think she
12,
ever graduated.
12 years. Wow, that is a long time.
That is a long time. So I'm saying, while college is an important place to make social connections, it's also a place to take it seriously. When you go, don't fool around. Get to work, save your $30,000. For some of you, going to community college or junior college is the right way to go. Nothing wrong with that. Here in Arizona, we have a great community college system. And in fact, I will tell you, some of the community colleges, by the way, are 4-year colleges now. And tuition there averages perhaps in the 4,000 to 4,500 mark a year versus the 30,000 for the public universities and colleges. So you can save a significant amount of money. Even if you go to a junior college for 2 years, a lot of them have agreements academically with some of the state colleges and universities so you can get credit. Another great way to get some credit for college is AP courses. That stands for advanced placement. If you do well on advanced placement, you can test out of some college courses. That's a great deal. There are a lot of high schools today that have something called dual enrollment. I've known lots of students who, by the time they take their dual enrollment, they're ready to start college at the sophomore level. So it may only take them 3 years by the time they get to college. So those are both important things. The last type of loan that I'm going to talk about here very briefly is what is called a Parent Plus loan. A Parent Plus loan is a loan given by a bank. Players in this place are ones called Sally Mae. Wells Fargo is a big player. Discovery Card's a big player. There's a couple others, but the thing about those loans is once you sign on the dotted line and you get that money, it goes directly to the school. And by the way, when is your first loan payment due, Gary, with the Parent Plus loan?
Straight away.
Straight away. And so these loans are for 10 years, monthly. And guess what, Mom and Dad? You are on the hook for this loan. If your parent doesn't pay, if your student doesn't pay this loan, guess who has to pay it?
You,
You do.
unfortunately. Yeah.
You do have to pay it. So be very careful about taking these loans. Don't take them if you don't have to. It doesn't make sense to accrue $100,000 in school debt if you are not going to get a job or profession that's going to support you being able to pay for that loan. So I have no problems with people wanting to be a social worker or a teacher, but please realize if you borrow a lot of money, those type of professions, the amount of money that you're going to earn is not going to pay for your college loans. So find professions, nothing wrong with them. I'm just saying, if you are going to borrow a lot of money, practice frugal responsibility. Be very careful in what you borrow. I've seen too many parents. They're paying $3,000 or $4,000 a month for their student to go to school. Be very, very careful. So today we've gone over the basis of the FAFSA application. We know that it's done in two pieces now, a piece for the student and a piece for the parent. We've learned the number one formula for college funding, which is cost of attendance less SAR or expected family contribution, leaving you with family need. College is expensive today. Make sure you really need or really want to go. Don't waste your money if you are not going to take it seriously. So for those that are interested in more help with college, you can certainly email me at scott.rulon29@gmail.com, or you can give us a call at 602-824-2299. So I will tell you, you go to college once. I've helped hundreds of parents go to college. If you need any help, please let us know. Just so you know, we do this as a profession, so we will answer one or two questions for free, but after that, yes, we're going to charge you for that. But I will tell you, we can usually save most parents and students a factor of anywhere between 5 and 10 times what we charge in helping you with receiving college aid. Hey, Gary, maybe we'll answer a question or two and then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, and also I want to know that it's quiz time. If you'd like to win the raffle for the $25 gift card, we're going to ask you one question. The first person to answer it correctly gets a gift card. So, do you have any questions you'd like to ask Scott that you think would be appropriate to see if people are listening? See who's a robot and who isn't. Literally.
All right. So type in the chat, what is the name of the most important form when it comes to going to college in order to get aid?
That should be pretty easy. It is up on the screen. So, all right. Yep. Who's paying attention? Who's a robot? Who's a real person? Let's find out. Oh, come on. You can't all be robots. Let's see.
All it does is take, if you're the first one to put in 5 letters.
And they're on the screen. So let's
It's
see here.
really easy. I'm looking at them. They're in blue. They've got people sitting on them.
No, Louis, it's not start form. It's pretty easy though. Let's look at the screen. Let's sort out the robots here. No offense to robots, of course, but no offense to anybody.
Start form.
Start form. Well, it's better than no answer, but
It's at least
at
an
least
answer.
at least it means Louis is here. So I
So
think
I mean, the answer's right there. It's FAFSA.
it's on the screen. But I tell you
This
what,
is what we talked about the whole time was FAFSA.
I tell you what,
If you don't want a gift card, then don't do it.
Louis, type in FASA and we'll give you the gift card.
Yeah.
Come on. We give you 30 seconds and then we're going to wrap up. There will be a survey at the end. But of course, you don't have to take it. We'd appreciate if you did. It helps us to basically improve the webinars as we go, get some feedback. So when we wrap up, there will be a survey appearing in the browser. So if you could please take that, would appreciate it. Louis, you got a couple of seconds left because we have to do another webinar straight after this one. So if you can type in FASA in the next 10 seconds, we'll give you the gift card. If not, we'll presume you've gone home. Anyway, no, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Louis? No, you typed Louis in the stove. Oh, golly, come on, Louis. Just type in FASA. Couple of seconds more. Oh, I don't know. Should we give Louis the gift card for out of effort? At least he's at least he's attending.
Okay.
All right, Louis. Give me your email address and I'll shoot one over to you. But we've got to wrap now because it's we got to jump on another one. So thank you very much for everyone being here today. Appreciate it. And thank you, Scott, for an excellent talk. And if anybody needs any help, names and numbers and email addresses are in the chat box. So that's about it. So goodbye from me and goodbye from Scott. Let's stop recording now.